हरिः ओम् नमः सर्वेभ्यः। अष्टाध्यायी परिचयः इत्यत्र सुबन्तप्रकरणस्य अद्य दशमः अभ्यासवर्गः। शुक्लाम्बरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। येनाक्षरसमाम्नायमधिगम्य महेश्वरात् कृत्स्नं व्याकरणं प्रोक्तं तस्मै पाणिनये नमः। वाक्यकारं वररुचिं भाष्यकारं पतञ्जलिं पाणिनिं सूत्रकारं च प्रणतोऽस्मि मुनित्रयम्। Prarabhamahe. We are going to have 3 classes this week and we will be finishing the Subanta Prakaranasya Abhyasa Charcha. So this is the list of words today. Let's start with the Shreyas word. Chandra Prabhaji. Namaste.
Namaskar Acharya.
Namaste. Shreyas. Sakaranta Pullingah. Shreyas Shabdah.
Atra Supratyasya Shreyas Yoge Su.
Before that, how is Shreyas derived by any chance? Do you know or does anybody know?
I have a fair idea, Mahodaya. It starts with Yasun.
Very good, very good. So Yasun, correct, like Gariyas and so on, Laghiyas and so on. It is Yasun Pratyayanta word. Atishayena Prashasyam. Prashasyam. Iti Prashasya plus
Prashasyasya Shraha.
Prashasyasya Shraha. Prashasya plus Yasun gives
Atishaya Asmin Sandarbhe Prashasya Shabdasya Ajadyav Pratyayoho Parayoho Shra iti Adeshah Bhavati. I'm reading from Ashtadhyayi.
Okay, correct. So this is how it is generated. So Shrestha is also exactly in the same way. Prashasya plus Shresthatama. Shresthatama nasti Shrestha kevalam tatha cha Shreyas. Iti dvayoho shabdayoho anena sutrena siddhi bhavati. We will hopefully learn this, or you will learn this sometimes in the Tadhita Prakaranam. I don't know if we will learn it, but let's see. So that's how Shreyas is derived. So better than, so better among the two. Iti arthaha. Let's start. Shreyas plus Su. Shreyas plus Su. You can start.
Shreyas. Atra Shreyas iti ugit shabdah asti. Prathamam Shreyas अत्र सुप्तिङन्तपदम् इति पदसंज्ञा भवति ततः श्रेयस असन्तस्य शब्दस्य अत्वसन्तस्य च धातोः इति उपधा दीर्घः इत्युक्ते अत्र प्रथमैकवचनरूपं दीर्घः भवति अत्र उपधा दीर्घः भवति किन्तु असम्बुद्धौ अत्र सम्बुद्धे दीर्घः न भवति एकं भिन्नम् अस्ति अत्र
सत्यं परन्तु दीर्घः केन भवति अत्वसन्तस्य च धातोः इति सूत्रेण तत्र दीर्घः भवति उपधायाः दीर्घः भवति
उपधायाः दीर्घः
श्रेयास प्लस स not shreyas plus श्रेयास प्लस स then what happens
अत्र नुमागमः भवति उगिदचां सर्वनामस्थाने धातोः अत्र श्रेया नुम् स इति हलन्त्यम् अन्तिममकारस्य संज्ञा
that's all is okay but if ugidacham sarvanamasthane adhatoh not dhatoh there is an avagraha chinha over there ugidacham sarvanamasthane adhatoh dhatu bhinnasya sandarbhena
dhatu bhinnasya
Shreya plus Numa plus Sa, all that examne and so on is okay. You have Shreyan.
Shreyan iti.
Then what?
Abhyo dirgat sutis pruktam hal iti aprukta sakarasya lopah. Shreyan iti samyogantasya lopah viramam vina ucharanam asti atah Shreyan iti samyoganta yat padam tadantasya lopah syat. Meaning given in PDF.
What is viramam vina ucharanam? I don't understand this. Because you are saying Shreyana and Sa, that's together is Viramam Vina, so Sa is going on. Okay. But this is all irrelevant. You should not write nonsense stuff over here. Just say Shreyan Sanyogantasya Lopaha, Sanyogantam Yat Padam Tadantasya Lopaha Syat, and therefore you get Shreyan as a final
Shreyan
form.
iti antima padam, antima rupam siddhyati.
Let's read this line, whatever you have written. Most likely you must have copied it from the website, but I want to understand what this is. Ugidacham sarvanamasthane adhatoho iti numagamस्य परत्वे अपि. Let me read. अयम दीर्घादेशः वचन सामर्थ्यात् नुमागमात् आदौ एव विधीयते. कः अर्थः? What is this written and what does it mean? Anybody? You can also tell. If anybody wants to tell, they can raise their hand. Nobody? Come on, this is last class of Subanta Prakaranam last week. I think these things should be on the tip of your tongue. This is all there in class number 46, Reshma ji.
Not sure, but trying. Maybe because 7170 is at a later stage, therefore it can come at a later stage. But then it is Angakarya, so it is coming before. You can take it before. Maybe that is the meaning.
No. What does this line mean? What does? Just give me an English translation of this line. You don't need to explain the Shastra behind it. Just give me an explanation of this line. Translation, basically. Savita ji.
Mother, English translation.
English, Kannada, Sanskrit, Marathi, anything is okay.
Oh.
I'm kidding. English is okay.
It can happen only after Numagama, even though because of the Sutra Sankhya it can happen. It has to happen after the Numagama, but because of the Vachana Samarthyat, Numagama will happen before.
Okay, so this is at least the translation is clear that there are two sutras, Atvasantasya Chadhato, which is 6414, Ugidacham Sarvanamasthane Adhatoho is 7170. The 7170 sutram comes later, so by Paratva it must be executed first and then Atvasantasya. But what happens is Atvasantasya is executed before the Ugidacham Sarvanamasthane Adhatoho. So Ugidacham Sarvanamasthane Adhatoho iti Numagamasya Paratve api. This Numagama is para, so we should be doing it first, but we are doing it later on because of Vachana Samarthya. So the prakriya that goes is Shreyas plus Sa. First you do Atvasantasya Chadhato iti Upadhadirgha. So you get Shreyas plus Sa. And then you do Numagama. So it will be Shreyan Sa. And then finally Shreyan Rupa is generated. The question I have over here is, why is this order to be flipped? What will happen if the order is not flipped? We don't agree to this Vachana Samarthya and so on and do the Numagama first. Work it out. What will happen if there is a Numagama that is done first? Anybody?
Dirghadesha na bhavat.
Let's work out the prakriya. What happens? You have Shreyasa plus you have Sa. Umaji. Tell me the prakriya step by step.
नमस्कारः. दीर्घादेशः अच्वर्णस्य एव भवति, अच्वर्णः नष्टो भवति.
No, but tell me the step by step process. What I am going to do first?
श्रेयस् योगे स अत्वसन्तस्य च धातोः श्रेया स उगितचाम सर्वनामस्.
Atvasantasya cha dhatu is we are not applying, right? What was the question? The question, see, listen to the question again. In the correct prakriya, whatever is written on the slide, we will first apply Atvasantasya cha dhatoho, then we will apply Sarvanamasthane, Ugidacham Sarvanamasthane adhatoho. Ugidacham Sarvanamasthane adhatoho gives Numagama. Atvasantasya cha dhatoho gives Upadhadirgha. In the correct prakriya, we are applying 6-4 first and then 7-1. Technically, what we are saying is a 7-1 is a parasutra. Therefore, we must apply 7-1 first. Then we should apply 6-4. But there is a rule which says that 6-4 must be applied before 7-1. It is called Vachana Samarthya. Vachana Samarthya means the sutram has been defined so that it has to be applied first. The question I'm asking is, what if we ignore this Vachana Samarthya business and actually follow the rules of Paratva? So apply the Numagama first and then try to see if the Prakriya can go ahead. So anybody wants to work with me the Prakriya?
नुमागमः प्रथमतया क्रियते चेत् नकारः अस्ति इदानीम् श्रेयन्
This is the configuration.
उपधायाम् अच् वर्णः नास्ति इदानीम्
दीर्घो न भवितुम् अर्हति. उपधायाम् अच् वर्णः नास्ति अतः दीर्घः न भवितुम् अर्हति. मा भवेत् को दोषः? If there doesn't happen in दीर्घ, what will happen then? So अत्वसन्तस्य च धातौ इत्यनेन उपधा दीर्घः न सम्भवति. Agreed. What happens to in the prakriya later on?
श्रेयन्
इति भवति. मुक्ताजी, what do you think? Anybody wants to say something else? Please raise your hand. Muktaji.
It will become Shreyans.
Okay. Anybody else? So we have gone so far. We have Shreyas plus Nakara has been added because of Vitacham Saranamasthanya Dhato. We have Shreyans and then what? Alaknandaji. Tell me step by step process.
शान्तमहतः संयोगस्य अनेन.
Very good. Somebody is studying. शान्तमहतः संयोगस्य इत्यनेन किं भवति? When you have nakara sakara संयोग, what will happen?
Sakarasya lopah.
Upadha dirgha.
So Shreyans, and then you will have halgyabhyo getting rid of sakara and sanyogantasya lopa getting rid of nakara, giving the final form as Shreyan. What is the correct form? I forgot. It is Shreyan, right? So why do all this business of vachana samarthya and apply atvasantasya cha dhatu first and then the magama and so on? Is everybody with me so far? See, these kind of things you have to study. These kind of questions I would expect everybody to answer when it's the last week of the Subanta discussion. When you are doing Shreyas plus and a Numagama is done by Ukitacham Sarvanamasthanya Dhatoho, you get Shreya na sa. At this point, Atvasantasya cha dhato cannot be used, but we have another sutra which we use for Payansi and so on. Santamahata Sanyogasya Sutram is there. I have opened the PPT because I know people would be thoroughly confused. All these, the most difficult class is class number 46. Listen 4-5 times at least. So Santamahata Sanyogasya, they will be somewhere explained over here. Asambadho Sarvaname Sthane Krute Numagame Krute Nakara Sakara Sanyoge Prapte Nakarat Purvam Vidyamanasya Swarasya Dirgha Bhavati. Everything is set for you. You have Shreyas. Numagama is created. Shreyanas. Sarvanamasthana is there. Shreyana and sa combination is there. You can do Shreyans by Santamahata Sanyogasya. Get rid of Sakara by Halgyabhyo. Get rid of the next Sakara by Sanyogantasya lopa, giving rise to Shreyana. A correct form is generated by following the normal Paratva rule. Why have all this circus of Numagamasya Paratve api Dirghadesha Vachana Samarthyat Numagamat Adu eva pravartate? Why all this circus? Alaknandaji, your hand is raised. You want to answer? Anybody? I'm not happy. This should be on the tip of your tongues. I thought we'll not spend time on this. Not a single person in the class? Okay, I'm going to keep this question unanswered and then we will move ahead. You have to find it out on your own. Everything is taught. So Shreyan is generated as a Prathama Ekvachanam. Similarly, Shreyan will be generated as a Sambodhana Ekvachanam. You already mentioned that the only difference is the Atvasantasya cha dhatoho is not applicable. So Dirgha does not happen, but Ugidacham Sarvanamasthanya dhato will cause the Numagama and the rest of the Prakriya is the same. So Shreyan as the Sambodhan form. That is correct. Next forms are Shreyanso. It's again same. Shreyana plus au. Shreyanso. So same thing. Shreyana plus au. Shreyanso. Shreyansaha. Shreyansam. Shreyanso. Dvitiya Bahuvachanam. Shreyasah. There is nothing. It's not a Sarvanama sthana. Numagama does not happen. Dirgha does not happen. Simple Varna Melanam. Shreyasah. Shreyasa. Let's go to Tritiya Dvivachanam. Shreyobhyam. Again, the prakriya is very simple, but let's just walk us through it. Tritiya Dvivachanam.
Atra Shreyas Yogebhyam. It's to do with Sasajushohurhu and then Updeshanaska. Atra Shreya Wu iti agachati. U iti agachati. Hashicha ityanena ukara desha.
Okay, then.
So apluta datah parasya roruhu syat dhashi samhitayam iti. Apluta hasva akarat parasya ru ityasya hashvarne pare ukaradesha bhavati. Shreyo yogebhyam. Atra आद्गुणः इति अकार उकारयोः गुण ओकारः इति भवति वर्णदचि परे पूर्वपरयोर्गुण एकादेशः स्यात् संहितायां श्रेयोभ्याम् इति
श्रेयोभ्याम श्रेयोभ्यः and so on. Everything is same. Shreyasam Shreyasi Shreyasoho Saptami Bahuvachanam. Let's talk about Saptami Bahuvachanam. Shreyas plus Supa.
Shreyas yoge sup. Atra Shreyas योगेषु हलन्त्यम् इत्यनेन उपदेशन्त्यं हलि स्यात् उपदेशस्य अन्तिमव्यञ्जनम् इत्संज्ञकं भवति अन्तिमपकारस्य इत्संज्ञा तस्य लोपः श्रेयस् योगेषु स्वादिष्व सर्वनामस्थाने इति प्रकृतेः पदसंज्ञा श्रेयस् इति प्रकृतेः पदसंज्ञा अस्ति श्रेयरु योगेषु ऋत्वम् अत्र ससजोः रुः इत्यनेन ऋत्वं भवति श्रेयर् योगेषु उपदेशे अनुनासिक इति अनुनासिक उकारस्य इत्संज्ञा तस्य लोपः उपदेशे विद्यमान अनुनासिक स्वरः इत्संज्ञकः भवति श्रेयः योगेषु रोः सुपि सूत्रेण रो इत्यस्मात् निर्मितस्य पदान्तरेफस्य विसर्गः भवति सप्तमी बहुवचने परे रो रेव विसर्जनीयो नान्यरेफस्य न अन्यरेफस्य सो रोरेव विसर्जनीयो रु इत्यस्मात् प्राप्तस्य रेफस्य एव विसर्गादेशः भवति अन्यरूपेण सिद्धानां रेफाणां न भवति इति उदाहरणमेकं
all this is irrelevant. You should not talk any of these things in prakriya. It's just Shreyas plus Su.
सप्तमी
बहुवचने परे विसर्गादेशः भवति. Then what? Next what?
श्रेयः योगेषु इति प्रथमं श्रेयस्सु इति द्वितीय रूपमपि सिद्ध्यति वाशरि इत्यनेन विसर्गस्य विकल्पेन सकारादेशः विसर्जनीयस्य सह पदान्ते विद्यमानस्य विसर्गस्य संहितायां खर् वर्णे परे सकारादेशः भवति अतः श्रेयस्सु इति द्वितीय रूपमपि
श्रेयस्सु और श्रेयस्सु यथा रूपं सिद्ध्यति. Very good. Okay, thank you very much.
धन्यवादः महोदय.
धन्यवादः. Thank you very much. Next, Muktaji, we will go to Bhavat first and then we will go to Phala. Are you here? Namaste.
नमो नमः आचार्य.
Namaste. Bhavat, Takaranta Pullinga Sarvanama Samnyaka Shabdaha Ugit Atvantaha Bhavat. Explain this. I was looking at this. Explain this part.
उगित् इत्युक्ते उकारान्त अस्ति अतः उगित्
उकारान्त नास्ति
उकारः इतसंज्ञकः अस्ति
यस्मिन् सः
इतसंज्ञकः अस्ति अत्वन्त नवतु प्रत्यय अस्ति अतः अतु प्रत्ययान्त शब्दः अत्वन्त.
What pratyay is this? What kind of pratyay is this? Davatu.
Atu pratyay.
No. What kind of, in the sense, is it tadhita pratyaya, krut pratyaya, stri pratyaya, stup pratyaya? What kind of pratyaya is this? Anybody? I mean, see, questions are not targeted to one person, never. Somebody is saying unadi pratyaya asti. Does anybody know the sutram?
Aham na janami.
Okay, so let's go to the unadi part. Go to the unadi part. This is how we investigate. What is the word? Bhavan, right? Bhavat is basically Bhavan. How is Bhavan generated? Bhater davatu. That davatu pratyaya is bha dhatu. Bhater Davatu is a pratyaya added to bha dhatu by the unadi sutram Bhater Davatu. That gives you the pratipadikam bhavat. Prathama ekvachanam is bhavan. That's what we are going to derive. Bhater Davatu has two important components. First is there is an itsamyak ukara which makes it ugita. And second is it has at at the end which will makes it atu anta. And both of these characteristics will be used right over there in Prathama Ekvachanam. Let's start.
प्रथम एकवचन विवक्षायां सुप्रत्ययः सु औजस्
That's okay. That's okay. Bhavat plus next.
भवत् योगस् उपदेशो जनुनासिक इत्यनेन अनुनासिक उकारस्य इत् संज्ञा.
That all we can ignore now. Just the crux has to be told so that we can discuss more and more interesting stuff. So bhavat plus sa, vk bhavat plus sa because of atva santasya chadhatu. Core has to be told. See, when you learn, keep on learning prakriya. In the beginning, it's okay, it's samna and all that. Now we have to move past that. Pick up just the gems that make sense. That because while you're revising the prakriya in your mind, if you keep on revising upadeshe ajanunasika itan tasya lopa and so on, it will take 5 minutes for each prakriya. Each prakriya should take 5 seconds. And the only way to do that is if you remember, if you see Bhavat, the only two sutras that matter, Atva Santasya Chadhatu, Ugidacham Saranamastanya Dhatu. If you spot these two sutras, then Nakara goes away by, Takara goes away by Sanyogantasya Lupa, Sakara goes away by Halgyabhyo. In 5-10 seconds, you are able to derive Bhavan. This is how you should be deriving in your mind. So Atva Santasya Chadhatu, exactly same prakriya as what we discussed earlier. Shreyan. Precisely same prakriya. That is the reason I am taking these two words together one after the other. Atva Santasya Chadhatu, we looked at the asa component in Shreyas. Now we are looking at the atta component over here. Correct. So bhava plus ad bhavat.
Atu pratyanta shabdasya tatha asa pratyanta shabdasya.
Asa pratyanta nasti. See, the wording is very precise. Asantasya shabdasya.
असन्तस्य यस्य अन्ते अस्ति तत् शब्दस्य अङ्गस्य उपधाया प्रथमा एकवचनस्य सुप्रत्ययपरे दीर्घः भवति.
Look at the wording atu pratyayanta shabdasya. But we don't say asa pratyayanta shabdasya, asa yasya ante asti tadrishasya. Why? Because there is no asa pratyaya. There is either asu pratyaya or there is asi pratyaya, and both of these pratyayas are to be included, and therefore we just say asa yesham ante astite and then atu yesham, atu iti pratyaya yesham ante astite. So that's how this sutra has to be understood. So bhava plus atva santasya chadhatu iti upadha dirgha bhavat plus then what do we do? Next sutram.
नेक्स्ट सूत्रम् उगीतचां सर्वनामस्थाने धातुः इत्यनेन नुमागमः भवति.
नुमागमे कृते भवान्त स and then
तदनन्तरं हलन्त्यस्य इत्यनेन इतसंज्ञा तस्य लोप इत्यनेन लोपः नकारः एव तत्र तिष्ठति. भवान्त स हल्डाभ्योः
दीर्घात्
इत्यनेन अपृक्त सकारस्य लोपः भवति.
And the last step?
संयोगान्तस्य लोपः इत्यनेन अन्तिमवर्णस्य तकारस्य लोपः
भवति. भवान् इति रूपं सिद्ध्यति. So bhavan, then you have bhavantau. Atva santasya chadhatu will not be applicable. Ugidacham sarvanamasthani dhatu will give a numagama. Anuswara parasavarna will give bhavantau. Clear? See the way I am saying. I ignored all that itsamya and so on. I am just saying Ugidacham sarvanamasthani dhatu will give a numagama. Then it is bhavanata. Na goes on the top, comes back. So anuswara parasavarna. That's exactly what you have also written. Nishchapadantasya jiliti anuswara. Anuswara se parasavarna iti parasavarna. Anuswara parasavarna krute bhavantau iti rupam siddhati. Exactly same as Shreyansau. Here it is bhavantau. Wait. Did we miss something in Shreyas Svar? I suddenly clicked. Why there is no bhavantau here? Let me speak right now. Why there is no bhavantau here, but why in the Shreyas it was Shreyansau? I thought I discussed this point. Where is your Shreyas Prakriya? Let's go to Prathama Dvivachanam again. Out. Shreyansau. You see, Shreyansau is over here. And why there is Bhavantau but not Bhavantau? Subhashini ji.
Atra Mahat, only Mahat gets the Dirgha. Bhavantam, it is not.
Only Mahat nahi, something. In Shreyas, there is no Mahat. In Shreyas, who gets the Upada Dirgha?
No, Santa and Mahat gets it.
So
But
in Shreyas, you have Santa Mahata Sanyogasya that gives the Upada Dirgha. In Shreyansau, Shreyansaha, we should have discussed that. I forgot discussing that in Shreyas word, but we can discuss it right now. So in Shreyas, if you go to that Prakriya of Shreyas, you can use Santa Mahata Sanyogasya to get, first you do the Numagama. Exactly what I told in Prathama Ekvachanam also. You do the Numagama and then you do Upadhadirgha. The argument that I was putting forth. You are using exactly that argument in Prathama Dvivachanam because there is no Atvasantasya Chadhatoho to do the Dirgha first. Therefore, you first do the Numagama, you create Shreyansa, and then you do the Dirgha, creating with Santa Mahata Sanyogasya. So first the Numagama is done using Ugitacham Sarvanamasthyana Dhatoho, followed by Dirgha is done using Santa Mahata Sanyogasya, finally giving Shreyansau. That Santa Mahata Sanyogasya is not applicable in the Bhavat word, therefore you have Bhavantau and not Bhavantau. Now, does this difference ring a bell in anybody's mind on why is that Vidhana Samarthya and so on being discussed in case of Atvasantasya Chadhatoho? Anybody? Purnima ji.
नमस्कारं महोदय तत्र प्रथमम् अत्वसन्तस्य चाधातोः इति सूत्रः प्रवर्तते यदि नास्ति चेत् तत्रापि उपधादीर्घस्य दोषः
तत्र कुत्र कस्यां प्रक्रियायां
प्रथम एकवचनस्य
कस्य शब्दस्य
श्रेयस्
श्रेयस् शब्दस्य विषये किं भवति पश्यामः श्रेयस् प्लस् स एक्सप्लेन मी द प्रक्रिया
आम् श्रेयस् सुप्रत्यये परे तत्र अत्वसन्तस्य चाधातोः अनेन अतुप्रत्यय अस्प्रत्ययान्तस्य उपधादीर्घः भवति.
No, let's compare the two prakriyas simultaneously. You have Shreyas plus Sa and you have Shreyas plus Au. I think you joined late or you are not, I did not understand the question earlier. Let us do the right side prakriya first. Shreyas plus Su. Tell me what happens in the right side prakriya. Anybody? You can refer to your notes. This is not simple. This, as I mentioned, this was one of the most complicated class. Lots of convoluted sutras. Anybody who wants to give me vis-a-vis the two prakriyas side by side? Shreyas plus Sa versus Shreyas plus Au. We just now studied Shreyas. Umaji.
Shreyas plus Au atra ugidajam sarvanamastane ityanena numagamaha Shreyan.
Now follow exactly what I tell you. Correct. So step number 1 you mentioned numagamaha. Shreyan sa au. Can the same numagama happen on the left side also? Same conditions, right? There is a sarvanamasthana. Purnima ji.
तत्र न भवति किमर्थम् अत्वसन्तस्य चाधातोः केवलं प्रथम एकवचन सुप्रत्यये परे एव भवति
अत्वसन्तस्य चाधातोः इति सूत्रं 6-4 इति अस्ति नुमागमः 7-1-72-73 somewhere 7-1 इति अस्ति परत्वात् नुमागमः किमर्थं न भवति इति प्रश्नः. So atvasantasya is not applicable in the right side prakriya because it is not a supratyaya. I understand that. That's not a question. On the left hand side, atvasantasya is applicable. I understand that. What I'm saying is, why are you choosing atvasantasya? Why not choose 7173 like you chose on the right side? So let us
because
choose.
it is specifically made for prathama ekvachana supratyaya.
But it is made for asanta words and atvanta words. It is not made for shreyas. So I will use it for other asanta words and atvanta words. Why am I to use it for shreyas? I'll tell you which asanta word it has to be used. Anybody? I mean, you should be able to tell me. Tell me which asanta word requires atvasantasya chadhatuho. You must study class 46 in details. It is the most difficult class. Which asanta word uses atvasantasya chadhatuho or is required to use atvasantasya chadhatuho? Bring asanta words in your mind. Umaji.
Chandramas.
Chandramas. Very good. Chandramas word. Chandramas, prathama ekvachanam is chandramaha. There is no nakara, there is nothing, no other sutra will ever apply. It's a simple atvasantasya chadhatu. Chandramas, rutva visarga, chandramaha. It's a simple two-step prakriya. You start with chandramasa, you do atvasantasya chadhatu, chandramas, chandramaha. So asanta, there is a scope for atvasantasya chadhatu in chandramas. Atu, bhavan, we just saw it, bhavan, bhavat shabda, the scope is there. For shreyas, let us try to do the normal vipratishedha and apply 7173. Therefore, what will happen if I apply a numagama over here? So, shreyanasa plus sa. Umaji, you want to say something?
No, Mahodaya.
So, shreyanasa plus sa. Now, what happens after this? On the right hand side, what will happen? If I have shreyanasa au, on the right hand side, what will happen? Anybody? What will happen on the right side? Purnima ji.
Santamata
sanyogasya will, what will it do?
Upadadhirgaha.
So we will get shreyanasa and au will give shreyansau. Can you do santamata on the left side?
No.
Why? Same configuration, na plus so and na plus so. Can you do santamata on the left side?
We can do.
We can do, exactly. So shreya. So shreyanasa, and then sa will go by halgyabhyo, and this sa will go by sanyoganta, giving shreyan. So you are follow the prakriya for shreyan plus su, au blindly to shreyan plus su, and follow the prakriya for prathama dvivachanam, blindly for prathama ekvachanam, and you will get the same form. That's what I have been arguing since half an hour. So why do you want to change that and complicate it by using atvasantasya chadhatoho? Is my question. Is the question clear? Forget about the answer. Is the question clear? Umaji.
Mahmadi, atra upadayam nakarah asti kila dirgha katham bhavati.
Atvasantasya chadhatoho ityanena na bhavati. Santa mahata sanyogasya ityanena bhavati. You have shreyana plus sa. In the prathama ekvachanam, you have shreyana plus sa plus au. And then in the left side, there is extra sa over here. In case of shreyana plus sa plus au, santa mahata, not santa, the santa mahata sanyogasya is going to cause an upadha dirgha on the nakara. Look at what santa mahata sanyogasya says. 6 for 10, I think, right? Where is the 6 for 10? यस्मिन् शब्दे अन्ते नकार सकारः संयोगः अस्ति तस्य शब्दस्य, and then what happens? नकारस्य उपधा स्वरस्य दीर्घः भवति. So when you have nakara sakara sanyoga, nakarasya upadha swarasya dīrghā bhavati. Therefore, when you have na plus sa, shreya na sa, It may be sa of prathama ekvachanam after that or au of prathama dvivachanam after that. It doesn't matter. The configuration is shreyana sa. This is your anga. Yasmin ange nakara sakara sanyoga ante asti. Tasya nakarasya upadhavarnasya dirgha bhavati. Shreyana sa. Prathama dvivachanam will be shreyan sau. Prathama ekvachanam get rid of first sa, get rid of second sa, shreyana. Is everybody clear with the question? I'm not discussing the answer. Answer is for you to find out. Read lesson number 46 twice, thrice, 4 times. Watch the video. You will get the answer. But is the question clear to everybody? Okay. If the question is clear, let us now move ahead. This is what I wanted to ask again and again. Please try to answer. Yes, Kumaji, you want to say something?
Mahodaya, at this place, both the sutrams are applicable. Atvasantasya cha dhatoho santamagatasya sayogasya. So paratvat we have to use only atvasantasya cha dhatoho.
Where is atvasantasya cha dhatu is applicable? In case of shreyanas, is atvasantasya cha dhatu applicable? Atvasantasya cha dhatu requires upadha swara. Is there an upadha swara here?
Yes.
Correct?
Okay.
Somebody is asking what is adhatu. Adhatu is completely irrelevant. That is, I have explained it in the class, but it's completely irrelevant. Don't mix up things over here. So the question is, why not follow this process and use Santamahata Sanyogasya to bring an akara giving Shreyana? And somebody is asking what is meant by Vachana Samarthya. That's exactly what I'm asking in a convoluted way. What is Vachana Samarthya? Because if you understood that line, what is written in that previous PPT, in this previous presentation, this line, where was that? No, even one before. Ayam dirghadesha vachana samarthyat numaga. What is this vachana samarthya is what I'm asking. Alaknanda ji.
Maybe atvasantasya cha dhatoh is specially made for adhatu.
I understand all this. It is fundamentally, you are telling me there is a use case for atvasantasya cha dhatoh, like bhavat word or like chandramas word. You are also telling me, or we are also discussing, there is a separate case for other sutras, ugidacham sarvanamasthanya dhatu. All that I am asking is, in case of a conflict, we should choose the parasutram, is what I am saying. Is this clear? Yes or no?
Yes.
So in case of conflict, we should be choosing the parasutram. In case of chandramas and so on, obviously atvasantasya cha dhatoh will be used. I'm not saying atvasantasya cha dhatoh is useless. In case of chandramas and so on, obviously atvasantasya cha dhatoh will be used. In case of thousands of other words, ugidacham sarvanamasthanya dhatoh will cause a numagama.
Acharyayi.
That is correct, but why did Acharya say this is my question. Still the question doesn't seem to be clear. The question is why all this circus is to be done. If you are getting the correct form, see what is happening in Chandramas is that there is no conflict between Atvasantasya cha dhatoh and Ugidacham sarvanamasthanya dhatoh. So you don't have to worry about it. When there is a conflict over here, why is this Vachana Samarthya and so on business is being discussed? Now I don't want to spend too much time. I have 8 words to finish today and I will finish howsoever time it takes. So let's move ahead. We were talking about Bhavat, but other than this point, there is nothing in the Bhavat. We have already discussed Marut word, I think. So Bhavata, Bhavatbhyam, Bhavatbhi, Bhavate, everything is same. Bhavatsu, everything is same. There is absolutely nothing to be discussed in the Bhavat word. The only thing that I wanted to discuss for the Shreyas and the Bhavat word is this conflict between Atvasantasya cha dhatoh versus Ugidacham sarvanamasthanya dhatoh and what is meant by Vachana Samarthya. It's taught, go back. If it's not clear from the PPT, watch the video and prepare your answer and tell me. There are so many in... So Sri Kumariji, you are saying Chandramas is not Ugit. Again, that's what I'm saying. Chandramas is not Ugit. Therefore, for Chandramas, Ugidacham sarvanamasthanya dhatoh is irrelevant and therefore Atvasantasya cha dhatoh can be used for that. So it is in the domain of Atvasantasya cha dhatoh, which actually says that Atvasantasya cha dhatoh has an independent area of operation. Let's not spend more time on this. If the question is not clear, you have to watch the video. I don't think you are watching the video in a way I wanted. Let's move ahead to the next word. Phala. Akaranta napumsakalingaha. Phala shabdaha. Muktaji. It is not finishing. Akaranta napumsakalinga. Phala shabdaha. Now just one word, one line. What happens in phala plus su? One sutram and you should be done.
स्वमोर् नपुंसकात् इत्यनेन प्रथमैकवचनस्य प्रत्ययस्य लुक् प्राप्ते अपवादत्वेन अतोऽम् इत्यनेन अम् आदेशः भवति. अम् इति अनेकाल् आदेशः अतः सर्वादेशः.
Then what?
तदनन्तरं अकः सवर्णे दीर्घ इत्यनेन सवर्णदीर्घे प्राप्ते विप्रतिषेधेन प्रथमयोः पूर्वसवर्ण अनेन पूर्वसवर्णदीर्घे प्राप्ते पुनः विप्रतिषेधेन अमि पूर्व इत्यनेन पूर्वसवर्ण एकादेशः भवति.
Now I tell you the problem over here. If you just say phala plus ityatra ami purvaha ityanena purvasvarna ekadeshah bhavati, then that is okay. It's a simple ami purvaha. When you start showing this badhya badhaka bhava chain, this is applicable and then it is blocked and something else is applicable and it is blocked and so on, you need to make sure that you have included everything. So a crucial sutram is missing in this badhya badhaka bhava. So you are trying to show the badhya badhaka bhava, but you are getting it wrong because the kind of badhya badhaka bhava you have expressed it over here is wrong. It is not how it works. You get what I'm saying? So a recommendation is simply to use ami purvaha or get a badhya badhaka bhava correct. Now can somebody tell me what is the mistake over here in this badhya badhaka bhava? Is the question clear to me? Question clear to everyone? So akasvarne dirgha ityanena savarna dirghe prapte vipratishedena prathamayo purvasvarna ityanena purvasvarna dirghe prapte vipratishedena 6107 ami purva. What is not correct over here, Subhashini ji?
Atogune has to be added.
Ah, very good. Where it has to be added?
Akasvarne dirgha.
Akasvarne dirgha. Purnima ji.
In the middle, Mahodaya, tat apavadah anantaraन् vidhin vadante.
So
in the middle, rewrite this sentence using atogune and tell me. Anybody, both of you, anybody who wants to say can say. Rewrite this sentence by correctly inserting atogune. Kevalam madhye bhavati, adav bhavati, ante bhavati is not correct. Akasvarne dirgha. Let's start the sentence. Akasvarne dirgha ityanena
savarna dirghe prapte atogune prathameyo purvasavarne anena tasya savarna dirghasya
akasvarne dirgha ityanena savarna dirghe prapte apavadattvena tad badhitva atogune apavadatva. Purnima ji was saying this correctly. Ananta madhye purastad apavadaha anantaran vidhin badante nottaran. So atogune is 6197. Akasvarne dirgha is 61101. Prathamayo purvasavarna is 61102. Atogune is an apavada of both akasvarne dirgha and prathamayo purvasavarna. Purastad apavadaha anantaran vidhin badante nottaran. So akasvarne dirgha ityanena savarna dirghe prapte tad apavadattvena badhitva atogune ityanena pararupa ekadeshe prapte. No, what? Pararupa ekadeshe prapte tad paratvat badhitva prathamayo purvasvarna ityanena purvasvarne prapte tad paratvat badhitva vipratishedeneva badhitva ami purva ityanena purvasvarna ekadesha vidhiyate. Subhadra, do you want to say something? Subhashini, do you want to say something?
No.
Okay. So this is exactly the sequence. If you don't want to write this, that's okay. But when you want to write this or when you write this, it should be exactly like that. Otherwise, this only shows confusion rather than understanding. Anyway, give me 1 minute. What is I myself? Atoguna is it Purvarupa or Pararupa? I got confused by Pararupa. I got confused for a moment. Anyway, phala plus au.
फल नपुंसकाश्च इत्यनेन नपुंसकात् अङ्गात् वीतस्य औ प्रत्ययोः षि आदेशः भवति अनेकाल्वात् सर्वादेशः तदनन्तरं स्थानिवत् भावात् षि इत्यस्य प्रत्ययसंज्ञा भूत्वा लशक् तद्धिते इत्यनेन शकारस्य इतसंज्ञा तस्य लोपः तदनन्तरं यचिभम् इत्यनेन सूत्रेण असर्वनामस्थान
This is not taught. Don't talk, because if I start asking questions on yesterday teacher, nobody will be able to understand anything. I have not spoken yesterday teacher. Do not talk anything that is not taught in the class, because there is so much to discuss over here. And I don't know from where you learned, if you've picked it up from website or whatever, but don't write stuff that is not taught over here. So simple atogun आद्गुण इत्यनेन गुण एकादेशे कृते फले यू कैन राइट नादीचि प्रथम पूर्वसरणे दीर्घे प्राप्ते नादीचि इति निषेधः अतः आद्गुणः इति गुण एकादेशे कृते फले इति रूपं सिद्ध्यति. And those who don't know what is this essay teacher, we have not learnt it and you are not required to know it. It will only add to the confusion at the moment. Phala plus jasa, phala plus asa, jasya soshi. I think we have done this in server word also, so there is nothing new over here. Jasa soho shihi iti shi adesha sarvanamasthana, therefore it gives e. And then let's write this last, you can speak this last step. Napumsakasya jalaja, that part you can speak.
नपुंसकस्य जलचः इत्यनेन सूत्रेण अजन्तस्य अङ्गस्य सर्वनामस्थाने परे नुमागमः विधीयते. नुम् इति मित् आगमः अस्ति, अतः मिदोच्यन्त्यात्परः इत्यनेन
Try to memorize 1.1 at least, so that these sutras like midachontyaatparaha is 147, not 1447. Midachontyaatparaha and so on can be easily memorized. So at least 1.1, 1.2, these you should try to memorize. You mean this is everybody in the class, not one person. So then you have numagama, so you have no phala na e, and then napumsakasya sarvanamasthane
सर्वनामस्थाने च सम्बुद्धौ इत्यनेन सूत्रेण सर्वनामस्थानसंज्ञके परे संज्ञके प्रत्यये परे नकारान्तस्य अङ्गस्य उपधास्वरस्य अत्र अकारस्य दीर्घः आकारः विधीयते.
So therefore you have phalani iti bhavati. Same again, phalam phale phalani, phalam phale phalani, everything else is same as the Rama word. We'll directly go to Sambodhana Ekavachanam. Where have you written this? At the end, right? This is the only place that we are going to discuss. Phala plus su. Let's discuss this.
Phalasu atrapi antime तत्र अमीपूर्व इत्यनेन पूर्वरे पुनः
That's okay. So अमीपूर्व, we'll just say अमीपूर्व. अमीपूर्व इत्यनेन फलम इति भवति. Then what?
एङ्ग रस्वान्त सम्बुद्धे इत्यनेन सूत्रेण रस्वान्तात् शब्दात् विहितस्य सम्बोधन एकवचनस्य हलवर्णः अत्र मकार अस्ति, मकारस्य लोपः जायते.
So this is important, because otherwise eng rasvat sambuddhe was typically used to eliminate sa. Most of in all cases this sutram is used to get rid of the su pratyay, which is a sa. What is happening over here is it is ma that is getting removed. So phalama sambuddhi pratyayasya hal varnaha, which is makaraha, is getting removed over here. So we'll go to eng rasvat sambuddhe. I hope I might have given this example on the website. Eng rasvat sambuddhe ityatra. So see, in case of muni plus su, it is the su pratyay that is removed. In case of mala plus su, again it is the su pratyay that is removed. In case of dhenu plus su, it is the su pratyay that is removed. In all these cases, it is the su pratyay. The only one possibility where it is a different thing than the su pratyay is the phala word. Here it is the makara. केवलं हल् वर्णः, that is मकारः, तस्य लोपः भवति. Very good. Thank you very much. Both the words, and also in the previous class you discussed 2 more. So correct. Thank you very much. This completes the phala word and the bhavat word. Let us go to the dakaranta napumsakalinga shabdah etad, Savitaji. Again, 1 or 2 words, 1 or 2 places only. Are you here? Namaste. Namaste.
Namaskaram, Mahoday.
Namaste.
दकारान्त नपुंसकलिङ्ग सर्वनामसंज्ञकः एतत् शब्दः सः सर्वादिगणस्य सर्वादीनि सर्वनामानि इत्यनेन सर्वनामसंज्ञकः भवति. तस्य उपगणः त्यदादिगणः इत्यस्मिन् गणे अष्टः शब्दः वर्तते. तस्य एकः शब्दः एतद् इति. अस्य विशेषं किमपि नास्ति. स्वमोर् नपुंसकात् इत्यनेन सुप्रत्ययस्य लोपः. एतत् विकल्पेन दकारस्य वावसाने इत्यनेन तकारः.
So the question that I have asked this question, it was answered in the class, but maybe some of you might not remember. Why is the sarvanama given as etad? What would be the problem if the sarvanama is given as etat? If the pratipadikam is takaranta pratipadikam, what would be the problem? Because eventually you are going to say etat plus su, and su is going to be removed, and etat, and then padante jhalan jashonte will give a dakara, again it will give a takara. Same for ete, etani, and so on. In fact, if you look at the forms, it is always etat, ete, etani, ete, etani, etena, etasmai. So everywhere the might be better.
महोदय, पूर्वस्मिन् कक्षायाम् उक्तवान् जलाञ्जसो अन्ते इति अन्यत्र इति अन्यत्र प्रवर्तते. अतः
somebody is saying no, this is nothing to do with Jalanjashante. Alaknandaji, you want to raise your hand and explain that? Yeah, you're right. That is the correct answer, whatever you have written in the chat. We discussed this in one of the previous classes.
तदीयम् इत्येतत् तद्धितान्तशब्दे
So in this case, what will you say?
एतदीयम्.
Etadiyam. So see, there is a tadhitanta word called etadiyam or tadiyam. If you have a word called etat, and if you add iya cha pratyaya over here, we also discussed bhavadiya and so on at that particular point. Bhavata thakchasau. I missed a sutra and then I learned it. This is recollected it, and then I read my own commentary which was written over there. So bhavatah thakchasau ityanena bhavadiya iti katham siddhyati, tatra padasamnya katham na bhavati. All these we have seen. So in case of etat plus iya, there is no padasamnya, so jashtvam will not happen, and therefore etatiya will be the wrong form, whereas the expected form is etadiya, and therefore you do not have this. Okay,
शब्दं न स्मृतवती महोदय.
एतदीयम् इति
तदीयम्
एवमेव एतदीयम्. Okay, so same thing. Now let's go to random form. Say let's go chaturthi ekvachanam because everything else is done.
आम् महोदय. चतुर्थी एकवचने त्यदादिनामः इत्यनेन दकारस्य अकारः सिद्ध्यति. अतो गुणे इत्यनेन
पररूपम् अतो गुणे इत्यनेन पररूपे
पररूपं सिद्ध्यति.
एत and then सर्वनाम्नः स्मै इति
सर्वनामस्मै इत्यनेन एतस्मै.
And then the singular smatsminau. Yeah, what happened?
अस्य ब्यस् प्रत्ययस्य स्मात्स्मिन् स्मात्स्मिनौ इत्यत्र षष्ठी इत्यस्य बहुवचने जल्यते इत्यनेन.
तस्मात् पूर्वं बहुवचने जल्यते
इत्यनेन सुडागमः भवति. अस्य आदेशसकारः अस्ति, अतः षकारः.
Now tell me, what is the Panchami Ekvachan or Panchami Ekvachan of etad? Etasmat. Correct? Panchami Ekvachan is etasmat. Let us look at this sutram. Etadonah. Etadon. Etadon is a sutram in the Tadhita Prakaranam. It has a Shashti Ekvachanam. Why it is Shashti? Okay, Shashti. So, etad shabdasya Shashti Ekvachanam etasya iti bhavet. तस्य स्थाने एतदः इति सूत्रे लिखितमस्ति. So the word etad is being treated like, say, surud. So surud becomes surudah. So etad becomes etadah. Why did Panini Maharshi not use the correct form over here? Such a simple word, etad, is not even a complex word. Anybody?
Maharya, Tatyadadiganasya, if the name is it is used as a name, then it becomes like that.
Then it becomes proper noun. So Rama Shabdavat Rupani.
Like a proper noun, it becomes that.
Rama in this is not Rama. Whatever is the surud. Surud Shabdavat Rupani Bhavanti. So very good. Correct. Sarvadiganasya Shabdaha Yada Sarvanama Rupena Prayujjante Tada Eva Tatra Sarvanama Sambandhini Karyani Bhavanti. Atra etad iti Shabdaha Sarvanama Samyakaha Nasti. Etad iti Shabda Nirdeshaha Atra. Etad iti Shabdasya. Just like the way, if you have a friend called Vishwa or friend called Sarva, you will not say Sarvasmai, you will say Sarvaya, because that is the proper noun that is being represented. So here also it is a proper noun called etad, and therefore etadaha iti eva sadhu rupam atra prayuktum shakyam. Correct. I think that's all. Etad. There is nothing else. Thank you very much. Dhanyavadaha. Shri Rangaji Panchan. Are you here? Shri Rangaji are you here? Can you raise your hand? Namaste.
Namaskara Mahodaya.
Panchan. Let's start.
Panchan Nakarantaha Pullinga Nitya Bahuvachan. Okay, Nitya Bahuvachananta.
How do we know it is Nitya Bahuvachananta?
Panchataha Navadashan Paryantam E Shabdaha Sankhya Shabdaha Patyante E Shad Sankhya. Te Nitya Bahuvachananta.
Kimartham Nitya Bahuvachanantah?
Panchan.
Purnima ji. You can speak. Kimartham Nitya Bahuvachanantah? Purnima ji, raise your hand. I'm going to recommend people to keep raising their hands, but it's hard to follow the chat over here. Uchitam.
प्रयोगे तु पञ्चशब्द बहुवचने एव प्रयुज्यते.
प्रयोग पञ्च संख्या एव बहुवचनं शब्दस्य एव अर्थः 3+ त्रयः तथा अधिकाः इति बहुवचनं शब्दस्य अर्थः. अतः नित्य बहुवचनान्तः पञ्च इति शब्दः नित्य बहुवचनान्तः प्रयुज्यते. But then same thing you should think for विंशतिः. Is विंशतिः बहुवचनान्त or is it ekavachananta? What is विंशतिः? Does anybody know what is vimshati? Is it ekavachananta, dvivachananta? Purnima ji. Does anybody know what is vimshati, trimshat, ekavimshati, dvavimshati? Uchitam. Anybody?
Purna pratyayanta.
Are Purna pratyayanta nahi. What is it in ekavachana, dvivachana, bahuvachana?
तत् स्त्रीलिङ्गशब्द इकारान्त स्त्रीलिङ्गशब्द विंशति.
So my question is ekavachana, bahuvachana.
समूहार्थे
एकवचन, द्विवचन और बहुवचन. Is it विंशतिः?
एकवचनं
सामान्य रूपेण एकवचने प्रयुज्यते. केषुचित् स्थलेषु विंशतयः इति बहुवचने प्रयोगः दृश्यते, परन्तु सामान्य रूपेण संख्या इत्यस्मिन् अर्थे अयं शब्दः एकवचने एव प्रयुज्यते. When it is used as a pure numeric quantity, I have a separate video while I was teaching Bhashapaka. Go and look at the difference between Sankhya and Sankhyana. So when this word is used as a pure number, it is used in ekavachanam only. What is special with panchana so that it is used in bahuvachana? Why not vimshatihi also in bahuvachana? The answer is very simple.
Acharya ji,
Lokat.
panchataha navadashan sankhya, षट संख्या इति न?
That is irrelevant. What has shat to do with bahuvachanam? We are talking completely different. Bahuvachanam kimartham asti? Shat and so on will come when your prakriya starts. Shat will come. I am going to shoot off that also, but we'll hold on for that. But nitya bahuvachanantah kimartham asti panchan iti shabdah? Vimshati iti shabdah ekavachane kimartham prayujyate? Vimshatihi janaha iti vadamaha uta vimshatayah janaha iti vadamaha? विंशतिः छात्राः इति वदामः उत विंशतयः छात्राः इति वदामः? And nobody knows this? Manjiri ji. विंशतिः जनाः इति वदामः. Vimshati onwards words are only in ekavachana. Those who don't know, understand this. The number 1 is in ekavachana, 2 is in dvivachana, 3 is in bahuvachana, 4 to 19 are all in bahuvachana. So essentially 3 to 19 are all in bahuvachana, and 20 onwards are all in ekavachanam. You start with vimshatihi, ekavimshati, it's always in ekavachanam. The question is, why such a weird thing? Why one ekavachanam understandable, 2 dvivachanam understandable, 3 to 19 bahuvachanam understandable. Why 20 plus is in ekavachana? Anybody? The answer is very simple. It is how the prayoga is. Prayoga sharanaha vayyakarana. Vayyakaranas are there to protect the prayogas. The prayoga is basically 20 plus has to be used in the ekvachana. That's how the language is shaped. There is no answer to that. This is how the language has shaped, and therefore the 20 plus numbers are in ekavachanam. But there are usages in the bahuvachanam also. So jananam vimshatayah is a valid prayoga. Those who do not know about it, go and find out a video on Sankhya versus Sankhyana on Bhasha Paka series. I have taught the whole series, and you can watch that. Somebody is typing something. Can you please raise your hand? I don't understand what you've written. I don't understand what you've written. If you raise your hand, I'll let you speak. Bahuganavaturati Sankhya. That's a sutram for Sankhya. That has nothing to do with the Bahuvachana discussion over here. Anyway, so yes, Nitya Bahuvachananta Shabdaha, and then what? Prathama Bahuvachanam. Let's start with Prathama Bahuvachanam.
Kanchan plus just shash do.
Panchan plus jasa. So
Panchan plus
asa. And then what happens?
Shadbhyo look.
Shadbhyo look iti look I prapte. Look means is gone. Lopaha bhavati. Kasya lopaha bhavati?
Just and shash.
Shas pratyayoho lopaha bhavati. Luki krute kim bhavati?
Na lumtangasyan.
Lumtangasya tenina?
Pratyelope pratyela.
What happens after that? Why are you saying these sutras pratyelope pratyelakshram nalumatangasya? What happens because of that?
Angasya.
Speak. Don't take pauses. Speak. We don't have time. Shadbhyo lukaityanena luk bhavati tataha nalopah pratipadikantase. You have to read what you've written over here. Nalopah pratipadikantase pratipadika samyasya nakarasya lopaha. That will give you a final form called pancha.
Okay. Pancha.
The question is, why are you applying nalopah pratipadikantase? You just now told what? Angas nalumatangasya iti karyameva nishidyate. Why are you applying nalopah pratipadikantase? Purnima ji, I think this is 10 times I'm asking this question. 10th time probably.
It is a varna karyam.
It is not an anga karya, it is a varna karya. Na lumatangasya will only block anga karyas. This is not an anga karya. Therefore, you have pancha. Same thing, pancha, panchabhihi, panchabhyah, same thing that is happening. Same in the sense, nakara lopa. Nalopa pratipadikatya will cause a nakara lopa, panchabhyah. Let's go to the am pratyaya.
ह्रस्वनद्योपनुट् नुडागम आरभ्य पंच चतुर्भ्यश्च षट् चतुर्भ्यश्च नुडागम भवति नामी प्रत्यय नाम प्रत्ययति नोपदायः अनेन अंगाधिकार स्टार्ट 641 आरभ्य दीर्घादेशः भवति अंग.
But what is Hrasvanadhyaponuta to do over here? You mentioned Hrasvanadhyaponuta. I think we are running out of time, so let me just explain.
No. After that, Pancha Chaturbhyascha.
Shat Chaturbhyascha, not Pancha. Shat Chaturbhyascha.
Sutrena Nudagama Bhavati.
Shat Chaturbhyascha iti sutrena Nudagama Bhavati. But why Shat Chaturbhyascha is created? Why not Hrasvanadhyaponuta only? Why a separate sutram is required? सुधावल्ली जी.
नमस्ते महोदय.
नमस्ते.
Here that nami to you act and nakara at the end we want a nam pratyaya also. For that chaturbhyasya is required.
Why not Hrasvanadhyaponuta?
Hasya Nadhyaponut is used here.
It is used here, is what you're saying, right?
Sorry, nut agama.
Why is Hrasvanadhyaponuta sutram not used, is what I'm asking.
We want Shat Chaturbhyasya Nudagama, nut, because both nas are required for the nami to act.
Anyway, the question is very simple. You are answering completely different. Why is Hrasvanadhyaponuta not used in this prakriya? Is the simple question. Anybody? Alaknanda ji. Tell me.
Shat Chaturbhyasya Nudagama we want. That's why because
Shat Chaturbhyascha is irrelevant. You can apply Shat Chaturbhyascha. You can apply 100 other sutras. I am not asking about that. Why is Hrasvanadhyaponuta not used in this prakriya? Very simple question. It has nothing to do with Shat Chaturbhyascha, nothing to do with Nopadaya, nothing to do with Swadishwasarma, nothing. Why is
Hrasvanadhyaponuta? Panchan iti halanta asti.
Panchan is not a Hrasva, not Abanta and not Nyanta. Therefore, Hrasvanadhyaponuta, not Nadyanda, Nadi Samnyaka. Therefore, Hrasvanadhyaponuta is not applicable. Therefore, Shat Chaturbhyascha is applicable. Shat Chaturbhyascha causes a Nudagama. So, you have Panchan plus Nutta plus Am. Now, whatever you said just now makes sense that we have Na plus Am. Now, there is a Nama Pratyaya. Tasya upadhayaha nakarasya dirghaha bhavati. So you have nakarantasya angasya upadhayaha dirghaha bhavati. So you will get a panchana plus nam, and then because of the pada samya nalopa pratipadikantasya will get rid of na and giving panchanam is the final answer, because Shat Chaturbhyascha followed by nopadhayaha. Now I have a few questions over here, and that's going to take a little while. The questions are somewhat convoluted, but it's important that you understand the depth of Vyakarana Shastra. So let us say I change this particular sutram. Instead of Shat Chaturbhyascha, I said Shat Chaturoho. Okay, so Shat Chaturbhya is what? Bahuvachanam. I created Dvivachanam. Say Shat Chaturabhyam or Shat Chaturoho, whichever vibhakti you want to use. Essentially, I use a Dvivachanam, and I say that in this Dvivachanam, Shat represents the number 6 and Chatur represents the number 4. So Shat Chaturbhyascha Sutram is only applicable for number 6 and number 4, not for Shat Samanya at all. The reason original sutram uses Bahuvachanam is because Shat is so many plus Chatur is one more, so more than 3, so it is using Bahuvachanam. But if I say Shat is just one number, Chatur is another number, and therefore I use Dvivachanam, which means for Panchan, this sutram is not applicable at all, is what I propose. Now, obviously, because of that, in case of Panchan plus Am, the Nudagama cannot happen. Because now Shat Chaturbhyashcha is only applicable to number 6 and number 4. Rasvanadhyaponuto is anyway not applicable. Shat Chaturbhyashcha is now not applicable now. Therefore, in case of Panchan plus Am, the Nudagama will not be possible. So what I do is I create an hypothetical sutram which says Am pratyay pare nakara lopaha bhavet. Ami nakara lopaha, na lopo ami, na lopa ami. I create a hypothetical sutram which says Am pratyay pare nakara lopaha bhavet. Is a new sutram that I create. Why? We will discuss all these later on. Just now, just follow with me. Shat Chaturbhyasha Sutram is removed from the scope. It will be applicable for the number 6 and number 4, but not for Nakaranta words like Panchan, Saptan, Ashtan, Navan, and so on. For Panchan, Saptan, Navan, Ashtan, and so on, I create a new sutram, Nalopa Ami, which means Am Pratyay Pare Nakarasya Lopaha Bhavati. If I create such a sutram, what will be the prakriya? How will the prakriya go ahead? Anybody who wants to explore this can raise their hand. I will walk through the prakriya along with you. Let us say I create a sutram called Nalopa Ami. Am pratyay pare nakarasya lopaha bhavati. Anybody? Try it out with me. I'll guide you if you are stuck. What will happen if the sutram like this is created? Purnima ji.
न यथा उक्तवान् न लोपयामि इति निर्माणं भवति चेत् नकारस्य लोपः भवति.
Correct. Very good. Nakarasya lopaha bhavati. So I have panch and then I have am. And then what will happen?
Then nuagamah.
Nudagama. Katham?
Rasvanadhyapo
nutta ityanena nudagamaha bhavati. Pancha plus nutta plus ama, and like Ramanam, you will get Panchanam as a form. Correct? Correct? We are going to assume that Nalopa Ami is all Siddha and so on. It's not in Tripadi, all that is given. So is there a problem with this approach? I mean, I don't talk about Alpaksharatva and all that. Is there a problem with this approach?
Rajan Anitra Nakaranta.
Very good. So Atman is an example. If you take Atman, Rajan I am not taking because there is Allopona, additional work happens over there. So Atman plus Am, what will happen?
अत्रापि यदि नकारलोपे कृते आत्म आम इत्यत्र ह्रस्वनद्यापो नुट् इत्यत्र ह्रस्वन्तस्य नुडागमः भवति.
आत्मानाम इति रूपं भवेत्. Atmanam, because Rasvanadhyapo nudagama will happen and then Dirgha will cause us Atmanam, whereas the correct form is Atmanam. Is everybody with me so far? Anybody who has not understood what I'm talking about?
Upada dirgha.
Punaha dirgha bhavet. Tena kim bhavet? Not upada dirgha. There is a normal dirgha. See, in case of Atman plus Am, Nalopa Ami will cause a Nakaralopa. Nakaralope krute, Atma plus Am will behave like Rama plus Am. There will be Nudagama and then there will be Rasvanadhyapo Nutta and Nami will cause a dirgha, giving Atma Nam. That will be a wrong form. Is everybody with me so far? If somebody has not understood, raise your hand and I'll explain again. The question was that I want to write a sutram called Nalopa Ami. In case of Panchan plus Am, it is giving a right form now. But the problem is Atman plus Am, it will give Atmanam. Fair enough. That attempt was failed. But what I'm saying is I anyway want to get rid of Shat Chaturbhyasha. Either get rid of or I don't want to use, I want to use it only for the number 6 and 4. So what I do is, I have the sutram Rasvanadhyapo Nutta, which is causing the Nudagama for a Raswanta word, for a Nadi Samyaka word, and for an Avanta word. What if I say the Nakaranta Sankhyas also get a Nudagama over here? Let me repeat the question. Before that, I want to step back. I want to ask another question. That's, I think, easier. Let's focus on Shat Chaturbhyascha. Shat Chaturbhyascha is in the current state, in the way Panini Maharshi has defined it, is causing a Nudagama. For all, which words is this causing a Nudagama? Can somebody raise their hand? I want to talk. Purnima ji, you raise your hand. I want to talk, and I can guide you, but I need somebody to quickly give answers the way I speak. So Shat Chaturbhyascha will give a Nudagama. For what words is it giving a Nudagama?
For Shat Shankaka.
So speak out the words. Speak out the words.
Shanta
No, just speak out the words. So we have
Shakaranta, Nakaranta.
Correct. So let's speak out the words. So you have number 4, because Chaturbhyascha. Chatur word is physically present in the sutra. So number 4. And then what, number 5? 5, 6, 7, Ashtan, Navan, Dashan. Up to Navadashan. 19. Correct? Okay, correct. So from 4 to 19, Shat Chaturbhyascha is causing a Nudagama. Let us go to the previous Sankhya. What happens with 1? Ek. Is there a Nudagama?
No.
Eka namiti bhavati kila? Rasvanadhyapanuta. Correct. Dvi.
Tatra Adva iti bhavati.
Dva iti bhavati rasvanadhyapanuta. See, dvi, normal word is not going to be in the dvivachana. But when dvi is used in the samasa and so on, it will become dvivachana. But therefore, practically it is possible dvi will become dva and then dvanam and so on will happen. Dvanam. 3 will become trayanam. So there is a Nudagama over here. Starting from 4 to 19 till 19, there is a Nudagama. So see how I am thinking. If you are looking at the numeric words, the Sankhya, 1, Eka has a Nudagama because of Rasvanadhyapanuta. Dvi has a Nudagama, 3 has a Nudagama. From 4 to 19, Shat Chaturbhyascha has a Nudagama. What happens to 20? Vimshatinam. Vimshati is ekvachanam, but as I mentioned earlier, in some cases, in specific usages, you see a bahuvachanam. So Vimshatinam. How is a Nudagama possible over here?
Again
Rasvanadhyapanuta. So Ekavimshati, Dvavimshati, Trayovimshati. So eventually you can see that absolutely almost all Sankhya Vachaka words will get a Nudagama in Shashti Bahuvachanam. Please follow what I am saying. If you are stuck, if you are not understanding, raise your hand. So Sankhya Vachaka words will give a Nudagama, will get a Nudagama in the Shashti Bahuvachana case. Eka, Dvi, 3 because of Rasvanadhyapanuta, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and so on because of Shat Chaturbhyascha, again 20, 21, 22 because of Rasvanadhyapanuta and so on till you go to the number 30. What is the Sanskrit word for number 30?
Trimshat.
What is the Shashti Bahuvachanam for that?
Trimshatam.
Trimshatam. 30 is the first number in the series where you do not get a Nudagama. Till 30, you get a Nudagama everywhere. 30 ends in a ta. Basically, Trimshat, Chatvarimshat, Panchashat. Entities that end in ta, they do not get a Nudagama. If you go to Shashti, what will happen? Shashtinam, Saptatinam, Ashitinam, Shatanam. So even though all these words are generally in Ekvachanam, in specific usages you see them in the Bahuvachanam. Look at Sankhyana versus Sankhya video. But there are Bahuvachanas possible, and therefore in all cases you will get a Bahuvachanam except for ta, which is like Trimshat, Ekatrimshat, Dvatrimshat and so on, Chatvarimshat, Panchashat and so on. So except for a Sankhya Vachaka word which ends in ta, all other Sankhya Vachaka words in their Shashti Bahuvachanam get a Nudagama. Is everybody with me so far? Any questions on this? And therefore, instead of creating a complex sutram like Shat Chaturbhyascha and then having a nopadhayaha, which is only complementing Shat Chaturbhyashta, because nopadhaya is not used for Atman, Rajan and so on. It is only used for Sankhyavachaka words like Panchan and so on. So first you create a complex sutram called Shat Chaturbhyashta. So first you define the Shat Samnya, then you create a complex sutram called Shat Chaturbhyashta, and then you create a sutram on the top of it called Nopadhayaha. Instead of doing all this circus, you can simply add the word Sankhya in Rasva Nadhyaponutta, and you can say Rasva Sankhya Nadhyaponutta and create a Nishedha that for At it will not happen. So in that case, when you do a Nudagama on a Sankhyavachaka word like Panchana, you do a Panchana plus Nudagama will become Nama. The Nakara can be removed, Pancha plus Nama, and then you can get Panchanama, which is the desired form. So is everybody with me? Instead of creating Shat Chaturbhyashcha, and instead of creating Nopadhaya will be replaced by something else. I don't have time, I'll not go in the details. But what I wanted to point out is that instead of creating so many sutras stacked over one another, one could just say Sankhyanam Vishaye Nudagamaha Bhavati. And this is exactly what Raja Bhoja does. We have a Vyakaranam called Saraswati Kanthabharanam, which is yet another grammar written by Maharaja Dhiraja Bhoja, very big scholar of Vyakarana as well as Sahitya. He wrote a separate grammar which is completely based on Paninian Vyakarana. It is called Saraswati Kanthabharanam. He tried to fix these problems in Paninian Vyakaranam, and in this particular Vyakaranam, this is like 1.5 times Ashtadhyayi. Ashtadhyayi is 4,000 sutras. This is more than 6,000 sutras. So in this particular Vyakarana, there is a sutram for the Nudagama, I think Raswapo Nutta or something. Raswa, what sutram is this? Raswapo Nutta. So he says Raswapo Nutta. This particular sutram is the Nudagama for Raswa and Abanta. Panini says Rasva Nadhyapo Nutta. He is not using the Nadi Samnya. He uses next few sutras for talking about the Nadi, and then he says Sankhyayaha Anataha. So any Sankhya-vachaka word which is not ending in Atta, that will get a Nudagama Sankhyayaha Anataha. So you have Raswapo Nutta and Sankhyayaha Anataha. Instead of defining the Shat Samnya and then using Shat Chaturbhyashcha and then using Nopadhaya and so on, he cuts off all that rest of sutras and he will say Sankhyayaha Anataha, and he will have his own mechanism using this particular sutram to derive the final form like Panchanam and so on. And therefore, with this kind of circus, I think he eliminates all these Shat Samnya itself from his own grammar. This is actually a much more efficient way to do a Nudagama by simply saying Sankhya Shabdanam Nudagama Bhavati, because Eka, Dvi, Tri, Chatur, Pancha till 29 you are going to have Nudagama, and then Atta, Trimshata, Chatvarimshata, that's where the Nudagama is not there. That is being negated. Anataha means na ataha. This is a negation. So Sankhyayaha na ataha. Atta yasya ante asti tadrishasya sankhya shabdasya nudagamaha na bhavati na ata negation na iti uktam asti anyesham vishay nudagamaha avashyam bhavati. So this way, I wanted to discuss this, that there are improvements that are done on Paninian grammar. One of the classic examples in Vyakarana Shastra where you have this anataha, simplifying the entire rule of Shashti Bhavachanam, saying if it is a Sankhya, do the Shashti Bhavachanam Nudagama. So that's Panchana, and finally Panchasu is simple Varnamelanam, not even Varnamelanam. The Nakara is removed by Nalopa of Pratipadikadasya and Panchasu is generated. That completes Pancha word. We'll take 10 more minutes. We should be able to done with all three. So Mrunalini, Naman word. Just take the words, the specific parts that I discussed. So Naman, in the first, it is easy. You have Swamor Napumsakat Nalop of Pratibandasya. We have already discussed this. Let's go to Sambuddhi.
Sambuddhi, Naman. नपुंसकात् इत्यनेन नपुंसकास्य सुप्रत्ययस्य लुक् भवति प्रत्ययलोपे प्रत्ययलक्षणम् इति पदसंज्ञा प्राप्नोति न लोपप्रातिपदिकान्तस्य इत्यनेन प्रातिपदिकस्य पदसंज्ञस्य अन्तिमनकारस्य लोपः भवति भसंज्ञकः अपि अस्ति भस्य टेर् लोपः इति सूत्रेण तस्मिन् सूत्रे सम्बुद्धौ नपुंसकानां न लोपो वा वाच्यः इति वार्तिकया वार्तिकया संबोधन
लोपः is not needed, it's confusing. Just say सम्बुद्धौ नपुंसकानां न लोपो वा वाच्यः
इति वार्तिकया वार्तिकेन संबोधन एकवचन शब्दानां पदान्तनकारस्य लोपः विकल्पेन
भवति. Very good. So नलोपः प्रातिपदिकान्तस्य this भस्य लोपः is relevant. नलोपः प्रातिपदिकान्तस्य तेन नकार लोपे प्राप्ते. Right in 8 to 7 there will be va सम्बुद्धौ नपुंसकानां वा वाच्यः. So if you go to 8 to 7 नलोपः प्रातिपदिकान्तस्य in नङि सम्बुद्ध्योः there will be over here वा नपुंसकानाम् इति वक्तव्यं. सो नङि सम्बुद्ध्य इत्यनेन निर्दिष्टः नकार लोपनिषेधः नपुंसकस्य विषये विकल्पेन भवति. सो फर्स्ट यू हैव टू से नङि सम्बुद्ध्योः. नङि सम्बुद्ध्योः इत्यनेन सम्बुद्धि परे प्रत्यय परे नकार लोपः न भवति एंड तादृश नकार लोपस्य निषेधे प्राप्ते यू विल हैव सम्बुद्धौ नपुंसकानां न लोपो वा वाच्यः. सो दिस लाइन इज नॉट नीडेड. You simply say स्वमोर नपुंसकात् इत्यनेन सुप्रत्ययस्य लुकि कृते नामन तदनन्तरं नङि सम्बुद्ध्योः. दिस भस्य लोप इज कंप्लीटली मिसलीडिंग. नङि सम्बुद्ध्योः इत्यनेन नकारस्य लोपस्य निषेधे प्राप्ते विकल्पेन न लोप सम्बुद्धौ नपुंसकानां न लोपो वा वाच्य इत्यनेन नकार लोपः विकल्पेन भवति. You get two forms, नाम and नामन. Let's go to नाम्नि. I'll help you out. So naman plus she by napumsakacha, we saw this just now. Naman plus e. Let's talk over here. Naman plus e. What happens at the stage of naman plus e?
यचिभम् इत्यनेन असर्वनामस्थानकसंज्ञकस्य अजादित्ये परे प्रकृतेः
भसंज्ञा भवति. वेरी गुड.
विभाषानिष्योः इत्यनेन अस्य भसंज्ञकस्य अङ्गस्य उपधा अकारस्य विकल्पेन लोपः भवति.
करेक्ट. सो विकल्पेन लोपः भवति बिकॉज ऑफ शी प्रत्यय. दिस इज शी प्रत्यय. सो विभाषानिष्यो इति विकल्पेन लोपः भवति. करेक्ट. सो नाम्नि और नामनि. लेट्स गो टू प्रथमा बहुवचनम.
प्रथमा जस्ट
प्रत्यय डाउन हियर. जस्ट प्रत्यय.
अत्र जस् शशो शशोः शीः इत्यनेन जस् प्रत्ययस्य शी आदेशः.
नामन प्लस शी, नामन प्लस ई, and then how is the dirgha happening?
सर्वनामस्थाने च सम्बुद्धौ
इत्यनेन सर्वनामस्थानमस्ति. अतः सर्वनामस्थाने परे दीर्घः भवति. नामानि इति भवति. नामनाम्नि नामानि, नामनाम्नि नामानि. लेट्स गो टू नाम्ना.
अत्र पुनः यचिभम् इत्यनेन भसंज्ञकः अस्ति. अल्लोपो नः इत्यनेन भसंज्ञकस्य अङ्गस्य उपधा अकारस्य लोपः नाम्ना इति रूपं.
लेट्स गो टू नामभ्याम्.
नामभ्याम् अत्र स्वादिषु सर्वनामस्थाने इत्यनेन प्रकृतेः पदसंज्ञा प्राप्नोति. न लोपप्रातिपदिकान्तस्य इत्यनेन नकारस्य लोपः भवति. नामभ्याम् इति रूपं सिद्ध्यति.
सप्तमी बहुवचनम्. एवरीथिंग एल्स इज नाउ सेम प्रक्रिया. देयर इज नथिंग ओवर हियर. सो सप्तमी एकवचनम्. नाम्नि वर्सेस नामनि. लेट्स गो टू दैट.
सप्तमी एकवचनं पुनः भसंज्ञकः अस्ति. यचिभम् विभाषानिष्योः इत्यनेन
वेरी गुड. दैट्स ऑल वी हैव टू टॉक. एग्जैक्टली. सो विभाषानिष्योः
अकारस्य विकल्पेन लोपः भवति. नाम्नि इति रूपं सिद्ध्यति.
वेरी गुड. नाम्नि और नामनि बिकॉज विकल्पेन लोपः भवति. एंड सप्तमी बहुवचनं सेम नकार लोपे कृते नामसु इति जायते. वेरी गुड. सो दैट कंप्लीट्स द डिस्कशन ऑफ नामन. The only thing I wanted to stress here is sambuddho nalopo va vachyaha and vibhasha nisho. These are the two sutras that we have to stress. let us stop here. Sudhavali ji will do. We can take, but there are a few more things about Vari word that I want to discuss. Va ikochi vibhakta is has the word achi in that. What will happen if the word achi is not there? I think I posed that question a few classes ago, but nobody has come up with an answer. I'll give one more day. If you cannot answer, we will discuss it tomorrow. But maybe first 10 minutes in tomorrow's class, I'll have Vari and Madhu, and then we will go to the remaining stuff in the tomorrow's class. So we will stop, because I mean, I could rush Vari, but I wanted to discuss about the requirement of Achi in Ikochi Vibhakta. So let's give it whatever time it requires. The important pending question of today's class, which I want everybody of you to think, is this particular thing. Atvasantasya cha dhatoho versus ugidacham sarvanama sthanya dhatoho, and what is vidhana samarthya, or what is sutra samarthya, that we have discussed over here. So Sudhavali ji, you have a question? If it was presentation, we'll do it first thing tomorrow. Okay? You will be there tomorrow, right? So we'll do this as a first thing tomorrow, maximum 10-15 minutes, and then we will go. Today, actually, I took more time, more than anticipated time, in the discussion of Bhavan versus, Shreyan versus Shreyan. So that I did not expect. I thought people will come up with an answer, but it took a lot of time anyway. Samapayamaha, we will meet tomorrow again. We will start with Vari, Madhu, and then we will take the list of words that were prescribed for tomorrow. This is last week's instructions. अष्टाध्यायी जगन्माता यस्य चित्तात् समुत्थिता वेदानामुपकाराय तस्मै पाणिनेय नमः. शब्द ब्रह्म समाराध्य कृतवान्यो विलक्षणं सर्वाश्चर्यमिदं शास्त्रं तस्मै पाणिनेय नमः. येन धौतागिरः पुंसां विमलैः शब्दवारिभिः तमश्चाज्ञानजं भिन्नं तस्मै पाणिनेय नमः. धन्यवादः.